For the Rural Radio Network, I'm Jayson Jorgensen. Second-ranked Nebraska volleyball team on the road to wrap up this week at 12th-ranked Oregon. And then on Saturday, they'll take on Washington. Today, I talked to head coach John Cook, and he talks about what it's like being in the Great Northwest here in early November.
Right now, the leaves are beautiful, but it's really foggy.
Okay. So do you have any trouble flying in there?
No. We got in last night, so no, it's just foggy this morning, but the leaves are all turning, so it definitely feels like fall out here.
Now, I was trying to do some digging, and I couldn't find. Have you ever coached out there before? Has Nebraska ever played at Oregon before?
Yeah, we played here in 2016. We played a tournament here.
Okay, so not your first rodeo out there. What's kind of the facilities like and everything? I would assume they have nice stuff.
Yeah, you can ask Shoe Dog about their facility.
So they've donated well to volleyball too.
Yeah, they play their matches in the same arena that basketball plays.
Okay. They're a newcomer to the league. I don't know if I ever got to ask you this before, but what was your initial thought when you found out that these West Coast teams would be joining the league?
Well, I think it's great for the fans. It's expands. I've seen TV ratings are up in the Big Ten, up, 12, 14%, something like that. So it's definitely worked out because it's given us more TV coverage. Nebraska fans are probably not going to be happy. If they watch us tonight, they're going to have to be up pretty late. But it does create a lot of hassle or stress or travel on athletes, which is going to be interesting to see how that moves forward. Because this is it's a long trip. This is our back-to-back road trip. Basically we're playing. We play Friday. So basically in 6 days we're playing 4 matches, all 4 on the road. So think about that.
Yeah, that wouldn't lead to a lot of classroom time, I would think.
No, and traveling out here it's a long ways out here, and but. Again, it creates a lot of interest, and obviously football right now has created a ton of interest, and I'm sure it'll be the same for basketball as well.
As a coach and a competitor, though, I mean, it really made a really tough league even tougher.
Yes, it did. And, both these teams have been to the Final Four. Washington's won a national championship. They've done very well in the Pac-12. And we owe Oregon from a couple of years ago. So they knocked us out of the tournament in Louisville in a great match. And so hopefully we can get it back tonight.
I know this week of the press conference, you were asked about the late start, to kind of downplay that. I'm sure for the ladies, they're used to being up late. How about you? What's your bedtime?
Yeah, it'll be up late for me. And, also here you wake up really early. So,
yeah.
Because you're just, you're on your clock. So, but hey, the great ones adjust.
Absolutely. Speaking of great ones, Lexi Rodriguez is on the doorstep of another milestone. She's going to be moving into second place in all-time digs. Boy, that's quite an accomplishment at a place like Nebraska.
Yes, it is, and she's done a great job. And I don't know if she'll catch Justine. It depends how many games we play and how many times she has chances to dig balls. I mean, a lot of teams game plan not to hit at her. So, but to get in, the tradition of liberos at Nebraska has been amazing. Kayla and Justine, both Olympians, and Lexi's the next one in line.
Do you remember the first time you saw her play and when you knew you wanted her to be a Husker?
I remember the first time I saw her play, she was in 7th or 8th grade, AAUs, playing for the championship. She was named MVP as a libero, and I thought, wow, how does a libero get named MVP of the AAU championships? And then she came to Dream Team camp in 9th grade, and we offered her, and she walked to the elevator, turned around, came back, and committed.
Huh, so that recruitment was a little easy for you then.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, too, another great stat you had. You've only given up 42 aces on the year. I would think that's something that travels. Doesn't matter where you go. If it can all start with serve, receive, good things usually happen.
Well, that's what we try to instill in our players, and both these teams are really good serving teams, so this is going to be another challenge. But if you can serve and pass, you got a chance.
And I would think a lot of times people are trying to hit home run balls at you because they're probably coming at you knowing if they, they don't have much of a chance if it doesn't start there against you.
That would be true, and that's why you see teams have missed a lot of serves against us as well. So, but again, we've got, we take a lot of pride in that, and again, we got to do it again on the road here.
All right, how about this match with Oregon? They're good. They're ranked 12th in the country. What are some of your keys for tonight's matchup?
Well, they have, a middle like Andy Jackson, who's a high flyer, who's right up there hitting percentage-wise. They got Mimi Collier, who's one of the best players in the country. She was National Freshman of the Year 2 years ago. So it's going to be a really big challenge.
And this is probably a Super Bowl-like for them to have you coming to town, I would think, especially first time as conference opponents.
I think there will be a level of excitement. I'll be curious what the crowd is. The West Coast still, some nights they have good crowds, some nights they don't. So I'll be curious what the crowd is. They had a women's basketball game last night. We were over there leaving practice. They were getting ready to play. So, I'm curious what kind of crowd this will be. I know football is playing here this weekend because I know Maryland football is staying at our hotel. So, but Eugene's a cool town. It reminds me a lot of Lincoln, except it's got some mountains.
All right. I suppose if you thought you had a long trek out there, I'm sure the guys from Maryland are like, hey, how would you like to go another half of the country? Yeah,
they've already got guys. There were guys here setting up yesterday when we got here, and they won't arrive till Friday. So it's quite an undertaking. It's a long way.
As you've said many times this fall, this is the new Big Ten.
Yep. So it'll be fun.
I want to thank Coach Cook for being available early this morning out in Eugene. So the Huskers and the Ducks tonight. That one starts at 9 Central Time. Then Nebraska with another tough matchup on Saturday night at 9:30 against Washington. That'll do it for Comments with Coach Cook for the Rural Radio Network. I'm Jayson Jorgensen.